Johnny Rowland, your host of our shooting show, and we certainly want to welcome you to today's program. We have a number of interesting things we're going to see today. We've just returned from the SHOT Show out in Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, the SHOT Show stands for Shooting, Hunting, Outdoor Trade Show. And I don't mind telling you, we still had a nice crowd out there, but you know what? Attendance was down considerably. And you know why? Because about 160,000 FFL holders, federal firearms license holders, people who are registered and licensed to deal and sell in guns, about 160,000 are no longer in existence. We're down to under 100,000, as I understand, around 100,000 or a little below federal firearms licensed dealers. And when you have a shooting, hunting, outdoor trade show, who goes to buy stuff? Well, a lot of these people that turned in their licenses because it was just too much trouble. Now you have to be photographed, fingerprinted, all kinds of paperwork that you have to do, much more so than it used to be. So now there aren't as many dealers out there. Friends, I promise you, as we speak, we are losing the battle to have guns like this Mini 14 or guns like this Red Hawk Ruger or single action armies or AR-15s or whatever goes bang. We are losing our rights to have these guns. It's coming a little bit at a time. One brick out of the wall at a time. Brick here, brick there. Friends, it's got to be stopped. You know how it can be stopped? You know how it can be? We can go on the offensive to get some of our rights back. There's only one way. It's to get more concerned Americans involved. More concerned Americans who will write those letters, who will make those votes, who will stand up when it counts. Because tell you what, friends, the New World Order is not on its way, it's here. The New World Order is in fact here. Well, those of us as patriotic Americans, we don't want the New World Order. Nowhere in our founding Constitution, nowhere in the Founding Fathers' writing was it that we had to be subordinate to any group anywhere else on the face of the earth. We only had to be subordinate to our own United States Constitution. A Constitution that has allowed us as Americans to go further, to achieve more, to amount to more than any nation in recorded history. And friends, we're losing it. We are losing it. That's what we're here today for, is to talk about these things. We're going to show you some things at the SHOT Show. Want to announce now our Fun Gun Weekend is scheduled at Clark Custom Guns for May 16th and 17th. It's the same weekend as I believe it's the weekend after Mother's Day. And we'd certainly enjoy having you come down. We're exploring deals with some local motels to get some cut rates. We're going to have it again at Clark Custom Guns. And yes, our friends Earlene Mandrell, her husband Rob, they're going to come down. We're going to have some great shooting, some great events. We're going to have some great socializing among us as shooting show viewers and broadcasters. So we'll be very pleased to have you. Put it on your calendar, May 16 and 17, 1998 at Clark Custom Guns in Princeton, Louisiana. It's very easy to find. A lot of motels, a lot of stuff to do in this area. We'd love to have you come down for that Saturday and Sunday. We're going to have shooting exhibitions like we did last year. We're going to have some silhouette shooting going on. As I understand it, we're going to have cowboy action shooting. We're going to have some action shooting going. We have contacted Bill Wilson and asked them if maybe they could send somebody down and show our folks some IDPA style action shooting. I think it'll be great. We will have a great time. I think we're going to have, going to try and get the same barbecue folks back this year that we had last year, because it was so good. Those of you know that barbecue was so good. So that's something we're really excited about. On today's program, we're going to start off with our show here and showing something briefly I think a lot of you will want to see. But we're going out to Las Vegas to the SHOT Show. We're going to do some interviews. We have some great things to show you, and we have a horror story we're going to show you too. So this is something that we really think is important. Friends, if you want to see us continue, and doggone it, we're not going to quit. We've got to reach more people on television. We have to. If you want to see us continue, we're here today in part because of your kind contributions. Now, a lot of us who watch this program say, well, somebody else will contribute, somebody else will, somebody. Guess what, friends? Not that many people do. Not that many of us can. If you can help us stay on the air, please send whatever you can to the Shooting Show, 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Dubberly, Louisiana. That zip code is 71024. If you can join our support group, or if you can buy advertising time here on the program, please give us a call, area 318-377-5189. Heck, our advertising, whatever business you have, it's deductible. So, my goodness, don't send the money to Washington where they're going to throw it away or even use it against us. Please don't do that. Please advertise with us. If you have a snow cone stand or if you have a shipbuilding business, it doesn't matter. See what you can allow to help our shooting show stay on the air. Friends, it is that important, and the time is now. It's not 5 years down the road. One thing I did notice out at the SHOT Show, among all those booths we went to, there were around 1,500 booths there of different manufacturers. You know, I never heard any one of the manufacturers talking about it. Said, well, we got to do something. We got to get busy because we're losing our rights. I didn't hear that. Now, we went in there, we brought it up. Yes, some of them we were willing to talk about it, but honestly, friends, the manufacturing portion of the gun business, they're either in denial or they're flatly not aware or they don't care. I don't understand. But I know the fight is up to us. It's not going to be up to them. They're not going to do it. The manufacturers are flatly not going to do it. It's up to us as gun enthusiasts, as gun-owning, freedom-loving Americans. We're the ones that has to do it. Well, speaking of gun-owning Americans, here we have a Ruger Mini 14. This is a ranch rifle, actually, that the judge was kind enough to loan me. These really neat guns. And you'll notice, of course, the Mini 14s, to my knowledge, never came from the factory for civilian models anyway with a flash suppressor. Well, this AR-15 has a flash suppressor, and if you look at the picture on your screen, you can see the difference in the very tip end of the barrel. The AR-15 has what looks like a little cage or something on the end of that barrel. Well, this flash suppressor is, according to Diane Feinstein, makes this gun much more dangerous, and they're ignorant about some other stuff too, but I don't think a lot of you realize just what this little cage device is actually capable of. In fact, let's show this AR-15 right now. Let's show it shooting in pitch darkness with the flash suppressor with full power 223 ammunition. Let's do that right now and take a look at the muzzle flash. AR-15 with the flash suppressor in place. Now, friends, I think you saw it just didn't make much of a flash at all. Well, and again, we have the suppressor on or flash suppressor or flash hider on the AR-15. Now then, let's take the Mini 14 without the flash suppressor or flash hider, and let's shoot the very same ammunition, 223 ammunition, through the Mini 14 and see if you can see a difference without that flash suppressor. Let's do that now. Here is the Mini 14 without flash suppressor, same ammunition. Watch this. A remarkable difference, huh? Now then. Well, friends, I don't see how in the world that little that little device on the end of that barrel makes that great a difference, but I tell you what, it is impressive, isn't it? Well, hey, let's go out to Las Vegas to the SHOT Show. Let's do that now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we are at the 1998 SHOT Show here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And it's quite a show. The judge and I came out, drove out this week, and of course this is, as far as I know, certainly one of the largest sporting goods equipment shows in the world. I know there's an Eagle show in Europe that's really big. There are a couple more shows here in the United States, but the SHOT Show is typically the granddaddy of them all. This is great. How you doing? Hey, good to see you. How you doing? So here we are. Going to, and certainly we've seen some viewers this week. We appreciate everyone. When you get home and you see this, we appreciate everyone being so nice and speaking. And it's always good to talk to our viewers, people that certainly we care about as much as you care about us. Anyway, let's go inside. We're going to do some interviews. We're going to do some features, and let's see what the 1998 SHOT Show is about. Friends, here we are in the new product section of the SHOT Show, and looking at some neat stuff, and the judge is holding a Savage bolt-action pistol. Notice it has a left-hand bolt, and it also has a neat-looking muzzle brake there. And this one is chambered in .308 Winchester, so that's something new from the folks at Savage. And And we have some new cowboy type leather. Of course, all sorts of neat things. Heritage Manufacturing has a neat little gun there. I don't know what it is. This is something neat. It's called a snow or stock mox, sort of a padded furry sock there for your hunting boots. Probably make it quiet walking through the woods. Interesting. And this is some kind of new pepper gas, apparently. Say it will turn a bear, maybe. Well, maybe. Neat. It's a wild turkey imitation bird called the Moto Magnet. This here is a Coonan, if I can hold the camera still, with 41 Magnum automatic. Now that's something different. I'm glad to see these folks doing well. And I think the 41 is an excellent choice. You folks know how I feel about that. What you have something there. Is this just in case we get our guns taken away? We've got a rubber band gun. Well, friends, this may be all we have left. We don't do something. This is from interesting. Let's get their company name on who makes these rubber band guns. This is the Challenger rubber band gun. I think this is probably ATF approved, probably handgun controlled, probably not approved by them, but it's really, that's pretty hold up. You want to do that again? Wonder what kind of accuracy you get with that rubber band gun there, sir.
Pretty good, I think.
Pretty good, but don't hit anybody on the other side. Oh, sure enough, hey, you're pretty good. Now, friends, we have another long-range pistol here, a hunting pistol. This is from Weatherby. This is in 22-250, and something new here. So I'm glad to see several new companies in the hunter's pistol category. Neat. Well, friends, here we have Camo Leaf. This is spray paint where you make your own camouflage there. It's kind of neat. Here we have American Frontier Firearms Company. Some new guns, that's fine. Now, friends, here we have just a panorama of the SHOT Show. Quite a show, friends. Trust me on this one. Quite a show.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station. You know, friends, all of us as shooting enthusiasts should be subscribing to Shotgun News, the trading post for anything that shoots. 3 big issues monthly with literally thousands and thousands of firearms bargains. Give them a call, 1-800-345-6923, a very inexpensive subscription price. Again, 1-800-345-6923. Subscribe today.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are at the Freedom Arms booth. This is Randy, the man in charge of the fine folks at Freedom Arms. Randy, you have some new stuff, don't you, that we're excited about?
We got a new 41 Magnum. We brought it out because of demand. There's been a lot of talk about the demise of the 41 Mag, and it seemed like it turned the cartridge around.
And by the way, our favorite television program has been talking about the 41 Magnum being such a great cartridge for a while now. And this is really exciting. You really had enough demand from your customers to build a 41, right?
Yeah, we did, and we also find out now that Corbond has got a new 41 Mag load, and so does Federal.
Well, as does one of our sponsors, Georgia Arms, also our new defense load. But Randy, something important. You said that John Taffin has one of these guns, and he has shot a group at 100 yards of 1.5 inches. Is that?
Sure has.
And friends, that's no joke. I mean, that's fantastic. Now, if you don't mind, would you tell them that a change that you made in the twist rate in the barrel that could be important?
We looked in the books, and it was 1 18 3/8 or something like that, and we felt that was a little bit slow. And we did a bunch of work, picked up the twist rate to 1 14, and it seems like it's stabilizing bullets a little bit better. We're getting a lot better accuracy out of it, and seems like you can drive it a little bit harder.
Now, you tried this in your 357 Magnum, which is your model, what, 353?
Yep, our model 353, that's right.
And it worked for you well in that?
It worked extremely well.
Well, now, since we're here, we'll take a closer look at this in just a second, but you also have come with a cowboy gun. Am I correct there?
Sure enough.
Now, what possessed Freedom Arms to come with a cowboy gun?
Same thing, demand.
Well, but it being different from your other revolvers, it's a slightly smaller gun. Am I correct?
Yep. That's the comparison right there to a short barrel to a short barrel. This is about 10% smaller than the big gun is.
Right.
This has got 6 holes in it. This one's got 5.
Okay, but your ignition is perfectly safe to...
Sure enough. Yep. You can carry 6. That's a brand new patented action we've got in the gun. And you can carry 6 rounds in it. Naturally, like everybody else, we tell you, for safety's sake, carry 5. But you can carry 6.
Right. Well, let's take a closer look at some of the finer points here.
Going over our new Model 97, we've done several things. It's got a 1 14 twist rate also. It's got the brand new action like we talked about. The trigger is completely separate from the safety system in the gun. When you do an action job on a gun, you don't do it on the safety bar, you do it on the trigger. We've also, because it's a cowboy shooter's gun, put in a replaceable firing pin bushing where literally you can take a screwdriver, take the old bushing out, broken pin, new pin in, put the bushing back in, and you're shooting again. And I think that's some very popular options that the cowboy shooters want. Something else we're offering for the silhouette shooters, there's people with old eyes and young eyes, and they want various width front sights. So what we've done this year is we've got an adjustable front sight for silhouette shooters. It can go from about 30 thousandths to about 126 thousandths, and it's also adjustable for height. We did a little bit of work on it. It's retrofittable in the field. If you have one of our guns, you can call. We can send you the sight.
All right, friends, here we are at the Ithaca booth, and the good news is Ithaca is making guns and selling guns. A lot of our viewers are fans of the Model 37. They have some new models available, and this is exciting. This is the 60th anniversary model here, a very pretty gun. And then, of course, this is the new waterfowler and camouflage. And I'll tell you what, it's good to see a gun company come back, and we wish these folks great success, hopefully so. Well, friends, I'm here with Tony Naif. He is with GSI. They are the main importer in the United States for Steyr Mannlicher, right?
That's correct, yes.
Now, Tony, what is this gun you're holding that says Steyr Scout on the side? Can you tell us a little bit about what this gun is?
Yeah, Colonel Jeff Cooper came out with a concept probably 10, 15 years ago for a scout rifle that would meet the needs of one man by himself in any circumstance, whether it was hunting or survival or whatever need he might have for a rifle in any kind of situation.
Now, friends, you'll notice, if we hold the gun up just a little bit here, Tony, the scope is not back here on the rear of the action, it's up here. And this is sort of like a pistol scope,
Sure.
forward, extended eye relief scope. And this is a bolt action, but Tony, if you would show us this stock, of course, it's sort of a futuristic looking gun, but it's very practical, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. The gun has a integral bipod built into the stock.
Just built in the stock, right there.
Pops out. It's fully functional. It pivots. It's very versatile and very durable.
Now that would be a question. The Austrians know about plastic, right?
Yeah.
Aren't you somebody, Glock, somebody, I don't know who they are, somebody
right.
like it. Okay. But seriously, Steyr has had a lot of experience with composition materials or phenolic, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, they've been
synthetic.
They've been working in composites for probably 20 years. They make their magazines out of plastic. The stocks for the sniper rifles, they have probably as much experience as anybody in the world with polymers.
Now this is a most unusual gun. You have the option, you have a 5-round magazine in 308 chamber, 5-round or a 10-round.
That's correct,
Is that right?
yeah.
And you also have a place here in the stock
For an additional magazine.
For an additional magazine there in the stock. Well, and you're saying even though this is a relatively small package,
right,
and the barrel here is fluted to cut down weight, but what will this gun will actually shoot what?
It's a minute of angle gun. It's a 1-inch group at 100 meters pretty consistently.
So I think that pretty well speaks for itself.
And the gun weighs less than 7 pounds.
And Colonel Cooper has been here in the booth.
Oh, absolutely, for the past 2 days. This is the Jeff Cooper Scout package.
So I would say if it's endorsed by Cooper, it's a pretty darn good product.
Absolutely.
Well, Tony, thanks for visiting with us. Man, good to meet you, and hope you folks have a great show.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here in the Lou Horton booth, and this is Mark Wochner. He's one of the Horton folks here, and he has some guns. Now, Mark, tell me something. You folks have not the run-of-the-mill stock guns just from the manufacturer. Your guns tend to have some special features. Am I right about that?
That's correct. Most of the guns are custom built by the Smith & Wesson Performance Center, and a lot of the sales guys sit down with, for example, Jimmy Ray, and we custom build these Smiths, and they're different than the standard Smith.
Now, this particular gun you're holding, you said, well, this gun type was used in a movie. Is that right, Buck?
Actually, the shorter version, it was a 6-inch barrel. It was used in Escape from L.A. with Kurt Russell. He had a pair of them.
So it is most impressive. Of course, I want to remind folks that we are working on a project here with the program with the Lou Horton Company on the 41 Magnum Smith & Wesson. We're very excited about this. So I'll tell you what, Mark, if you don't mind, I'm going to get you to show us a couple of these things. We'll take a closer look and get you to just show some of the things that that you folks offer that you can't find anywhere but at Lou Horton's, right?
That's correct. All right. Right here we have the Smith & Wesson 627, which is a 8-shot 357 Magnum. It's custom built. You can use full moon clips, so you can just put the shells in without the clips. It's a 5.5 inch. It's got a contoured barrel on it. It's got a brass front bead sight, trigger and action job, all custom. Jerry Micklick, one of the Smith's shooters, can presently shoot this gun in 1.03 seconds. Unbelievable, Jerry. This is the gun that us sales guys at Lou Horton's and Smith & Wesson Performance Center designed. Jimmy Ray was a big factor in this gun from Smith, and it's just been a great seller. We offer this gun without Magna port. We offer it with Magna port, same gun, same barrel length. And we also offer this gun in a slab-sided 6.5 inch barrel that has weights, integral weight system where you can take the weights in or out, move it to the front or back. It gives the shooter a better stability, but they're real good sellers for us.
Appreciate you taking time to show us these. Wish you folks a lot of good luck at the show.
Thank you very much, sir.
Well, friends, here we are at the Chip McCormick booth, and this is, of course, none other than Chip himself. Chip, how you doing? Having a good show?
Doing good, Johnny. Good to see you again.
Well, I
it's been a long
appreciate
time.
it. That's true. Now, Chip, you were on our show several years ago.
That was 93. That was
it that
1993. That was 5 years ago.
My
It sure
gosh.
was. It's sure good to see you.
Well, we've gotten better looking, haven't we?
Well, I want to see more of you. I can't find you on TV like I want to.
Well,
so.
that's a problem that we think that a lot of people would like to see more of us
I
on
know
TV.
that for a fact. I know that for a fact.
Well, I tell you what, Chip, you have some great products. In fact, we'll take a closer look in a moment. A lot of people are very familiar with your magazines, with your hammers, with your sears, but now you can actually build a gun from your parts.
I've got the entire gamut of parts to make a 1911. They're all dimensioned appropriately, so they fit together, very close tolerance. This is one of our parts assembled guns. A lot of people coming into the booth at this show think it's a custom built gun.
It looks like.
And, I don't want to say we put the gunsmiths out of a job because that's not true. A well hand-fit gun definitely has an extra margin of quality to it, but
I think we could say that this gun that someone could actually build from your parts is better than the vast majority.
it's better than anything you can buy on a production gun. It certainly is, and anybody that has a reasonable knowledge, working knowledge of the 1911 can actually put a gun together, and something they'll be mighty proud of, and it'd be real hard for them to tell the difference in how it shoots over one that they spent twice the money for.
I'll tell you what, that's exciting. And of course, you've got a tremendous line. You actually pioneered some machining techniques, if my understanding is correct.
We did well in the 1911 line. We were the first to introduce the EDM parts. We've also been the first to use metal injection molding, which is a new process. It's really I'm excited about, and we use it on most of our small parts. It's 97-98% the strength of forged wrought material.
But it's not quite.
It's not as expensive. It's not as expensive, and we can put features in it that people weren't able to do. All of our parts come rounded and radiused, where the gunsmiths used to spend a lot of time working all that by hand. It comes right out of the mold that way.
Right.
And the consistency's there, and we're able to offer it at prices that are revolutionizing the cost of building a custom gun.
Tell you what, friends, let's a lot of you, like I said, you get all the parts for 1911. And of course, I'm a big 1911 fan myself. You know that. Certainly, I feel like it's the high watermark of semi-automatic pistols, period.
No wonder we got along so
That's
good
true.
right off.
Well, Chip, why don't you tell people that would like to have one of your catalogs or information? Is there a charge for your catalog?
We have a $2 charge for catalog, or we send a free flyer out. All they have to do is call in. They can call 1-800-328-CHIP, CHIP, and we'll either send you a free flyer. If you want the big catalog, we do need $2 from you for that. But I think that's a good investment, and if you'll buy from us, well, then we'll give you a little rebate on that.
Well, give me that number again, please.
That's 1-800-328-2447 or 328-CHIP.
Well, sir, good to see you again, Chip.
Johnny, thanks
Pleasure.
for coming by.
Man,
I'll be staying up early, getting up early, or staying up late, whatever it takes to see you on the TV,
appreciate
man.
that, Chip. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Friends, you'll notice our friends, Earlene Mandrell, her husband, Rob Pincus, having a great show. Good to see you.
Yeah, of course, everyone sure knows we're at the SHOT Show and having a great time. I think everybody here said what a wonderful year it is. We're having a good time. Going to be in Louisiana soon.
Well, good. Great. You're going to be at our Fun Gun Weekend, I understand. Great.
Custom guns.
And some other exciting stuff. We're supposed to see each other tomorrow. We'll talk about it then.
Yeah, okay.
Great. Thanks.
Stay tuned for more of The Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station. Now, friends, here it is. This is a bag of the great Georgia Arms ammunition. Here you have custom-grade loaded ammunition at discount house prices. I don't see how they can do it, whether you have a rifle or a handgun. And remember, our new 41 Magnum Defense Special Load available only from Georgia Arms. This is great stuff, friends, and they're also some of the nicest people we know who are helping keep this project on the air.
Tell you what, friends, the good people at Georgia Arms do understand what's going on in this country. They understand how important our gun rights are, and they're supporting us on this project. The good news is you can get absolutely superior ammunition at discount prices, whether you have a handgun or a rifle. If you want to take that big hunt, you can afford to practice with your rifle as well as use that same ammunition on the hunt because they are so reasonably priced. These are some of the nicest people we have ever met in this business, bar none, and they're down in beautiful Villa Rica, Georgia. So please, friends, if you would, you can get a free catalog with a free phone call. That's as good as the deal gets. A free catalog, free phone call, 1-800-624-6861. Again, Georgia Arms, 1-800-624-6861. And please tell them you saw it here on our shooting show.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with a young man that you have seen. Art, I think you've been on our program probably 50, 75 times since we've been on the air. This is Art Alphin, and of course Art has the great A-Square company. They build some of the highest performance rifles and ammunition in the world. Am I correct on that, sir?
We try to build a good product.
Well, I don't think there's any question about that. Your products have spoken for themselves. In fact, you ought to give Art's company a call and get one of their loading manuals, because you have a complete description of your cartridge list, which is off the doggone chart as far as the cartridges these folks make. Now, Art, you know, let's tell people, you know, when they see you on our program, they see you in fatigues, it looks like. Well, sir, can you explain to our viewing audience just why they see you in fatigues on our show?
Certainly. At the time we made those tapes, I was a major in the United States Army teaching at West Point, and those tapes were officially commissioned by the Army for use in training both at West Point and in ROTC.
So actually, friends, when we watch Art on our show here, those are actual U.S. military training tapes taped when he was at West Point. Now, Art, your credentials are, I've known you for a long time, and our folks out there, they know us pretty darn well. A lot of folks, I'm sure they still come to your booth, and wherever you're out, they say, hey, I've seen you on the shooting show. I imagine that still happens
more
around.
Than a few. Yes, indeed, more than a few.
So, friends, we're talking about a situation here that we know each other very well, and those of you who've been watching us, this is our 8th year on the air. Now, Art, you had something of a strange thing happen. Had a little sort of hiccup in your business. When I say a hiccup in your business, was that an adequate phrase? Probably maybe a little bit light there.
That's rather mild, I'm afraid.
Well, Art, something happened that we think that everyone who cares about this program certainly cares about you and knows you and has seen the wonderful instruction you've given over the years. Let's tell them what happened to you a little over a year ago.
Certainly.
That I didn't know about, in fact, until you couldn't talk about it.
We couldn't talk about it. On the 19th of December, 1996, we were the victim of a coordinated simultaneous attack by 14 armed agents of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and U.S. Customs. They attacked both my house and my business simultaneously.
Well, now, wait a minute, Art. This is insane. Here you are, a public person, a public personality. You build hunting rifles. I mean, wait a minute. How many terrorist lions or rhinos do we know about here? I mean, that's insane. Why in the world would they come after you?
Well, that's a good question. We're not exactly sure, but as the truth comes out in a court of law, we'll find out.
Well, now, friends, wait a minute. We're talking about a retired colonel from the U.S. military with impeccable credentials. I mean, this is scary because, you know, this could happen to me, could happen to the judge, could happen to any of us, because we don't really know. But let's describe briefly how
what they do now. The business was bad enough. The business was bad enough, but you had a number of people in no uniform, no badge displayed, with guns displayed. Let's describe what happened at your home.
Yes, indeed. At my house, my wife was alone at the time. It was about 10 o'clock in the morning. 6 armed men, no uniform, no ID, with guns prominently displayed, pounded on the door. And when she opened the door, they immediately barged in, shoved her back against the wall. Then they restricted her to the kitchen, told her she couldn't make any phone calls. They told her they had a search warrant and they were coming in. They refused to show identification. They refused to show the search warrant. Then they began searching through the house. They tore open Christmas presents. They tore open my wife's tampons. They forced her to sit down and make an inventory of her jewelry and estimate the value of it. Then they took her down to the home office and they forced her to answer questions about her travels as a speaker at elementary schools and her knowledge about my business, and their threat was that they would confiscate her computer. She's an author. She writes children's books. She had one on the computer that she was editing. Had they taken the computer, it would have been devastating financially. Then they took her into the bedroom and went through all of the drawers in the bedroom, holding up lingerie and making snide comments about her. Then they restricted her to the living room, and she could hear them in the basement breaking up my rifles by swinging them against the wall.
Now, wait a minute, Art. Now, we have read about different things that the ATF, I mean, of course, they have been somewhat remarkable, some of their folks. That little incident down in Waco, Texas, and of course, the Ruby Ridge incident with the government, the hostage, so-called hostage rescue team, whatever they do. You know, it's incredible that I don't understand that happening in the United States of America today, except we now have some, well, let's be honest about it, we have some cowboy types in the U.S. government who work for the government that are not apparently under the same rules and regulations that we are. Is that correct?
I would believe so, yes. I think we've got a problem. I don't know whether we've got renegade agents who had a vendetta against me. I don't know if we have renegade agents who think they are following some party line, or I don't know if we have just one more incident of the some 140 separate armed federal police forces which have no internal review board, no civilian ombudsman, or any other checks and balances.
Well, this is pretty outrageous. And one, the good news is here, friends, Art survived. Now, I know your wife, and she is a lovely, gentle, kind person, and I imagine this was a horrible shock when these, I mean, friends, being held at gunpoint in your own home by people you don't know if they're the police or not, because they had no identification, they had no badges, they had no, wait a minute, it's bad enough at the business. All right, you've been in war, so I mean, you can deal with a lot of stuff, but your wife is not a warrior, as I understand. I mean, she was never, I mean, she's a typical homemaker. I mean, it's pretty devastating. It's pretty devastating, and the only comment I'd put on that is you don't necessarily need penetration to have rape. Well, friends,
bottom line.
Now then, all this said, and they came in and took your records, did some things. You had your attorneys come down and
at the business, yes. Now at the business, there were 9 of them, none in uniform, no ID of any sort. The leader of the raid refused to show me his ID. I then asked him for the search warrant. He refused. I asked him a second time for his ID, and he said that he would give me a copy of his business card when he was through. I responded that I didn't think Kinko's was an official arm of the federal government, and his response to that was, any more trouble out of you and I'll arrest you.
Well, that's really a threatening remark.
That's very threatening.
Well, now hold the phone just a moment here. All right. You have not been arrested.
That is correct.
You have not been charged with any crime.
No arrest, no indictment, no charge, no notice, no grand jury, nothing. So apparently,
because
I've committed no crime. I committed no crime. I did nothing wrong.
We have a little piece of paper here that you have.
Yes.
Go right ahead. Now, friends, we have a detailed description, shall we say, of what has happened here.
Yes.
And we'll even Art will make this available, and we're going to have a number here in just a few minutes. Art will if you'd like to see the whole list of charges and what happened, Art will make this available. Now, wait a minute, friends. We're not talking about somebody off in Podunk, USA. We're talking about Art Alphin. We're talking about A-Square. We're talking about Normal Us. I mean, this is one of the best-known custom firearms companies in America, even the world. What are they doing? This is crazy. And here's the deal. Here's why we're on today. Because the more of you that know about this, the better off we are, because there's one thing that can fix it. The government can't fix this, although you're going to work on them in court. Public opinion. The more of us know about these things, this is our protection. There's strength in numbers here, friends, and we darn sure want Art. One, I'm glad. I know that you are a real fighter when it comes to what's right. I know you. And friends, we just want to show our support for what Art is doing, his position. We wish you a lot of luck. There's even an escrow account if people would want to help, because this is very expensive legally. Am I correct?
That is correct. The legal fees are kind of staggering.
But you're going to, if I know Art, and we hope, we certainly wish the very best for your personal health and safety. Very important. He's taking every precaution possible for his and his family's safety, because, hey, some of these folks, they play a little rougher than their track record is not good, shall we say, about how they treat people. So we don't know, but we know this. The more of us know about this, if you'd like to contribute, help Art's financial situation on it is an escrow account, on his legal fees. But I know this, Art, you're going after him, aren't you? On the courts, you're going to make them eat some whatever affidavits or whatever you're going to find out, huh?
I'm not going to let it go. I swore an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I spent 25 years defending the country against the evil empire. If it takes me 25 years to bring these enemies domestic before the bar of justice, I'm going to do it.
Well, sir, we're certainly with you, and I know a lot of folks out there are very proud of your stance and will want to support you emotionally and financially, so certainly some will. If you would like information on the entire lineup, yes, A-Square is back up and running and doing good. They can call the A-Square number there in Bedford, Kentucky. And you want to give them that phone number, sir? Of your business phone down there if they want to call for catalog?
Business phone during regular hours for a catalog is 502-719-3006, business hours Eastern Time.
Well, Art, sincerely, good to see you. Hey, let's go for it, huh?
Let's go for it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Stay tuned for more of The Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station. Now, friends, here it is. This is the great 1919 Browning converted to semi-automatic from the good people at NWI. This is your chance to own a real piece of history. They're very collectible. They're also a lot of fun to own and shoot, and very reasonably priced, certainly for what you get. The 1919 Browning is from NWI. That phone number, area 503-429-5001. They also have the ammunition special still going on. 30-06 ammunition, only 18 cents a round, surplus in the belt. So give them a call today, NWI, for the great 1919 Browning conversion. Also remember, they have the A6 conversion with the shoulder stock and the bipod. But these are tremendous pieces of history, also great shooters. So give them a call today, the 1919 Browning from NWI, area 503-429-5001. And friends, I want to remind you now, the M250 Browning version is available. The machine gun converted to semi-automatic in 50 Browning caliber.
one of the great fun guns of all time. These guns are sold with a 1-year parts and workmanship warranty. Tremendous prices. Give Tim a call out there today at NWI, area 503-429-5001. You can look for a test of the 50 caliber version in the January issue of Guns and Ammo magazine, in fact. And we look forward to having one down here soon for testing on our program. Anyway, tell Tim, please, you saw it here on our shooting show.
Well, friends, we hope you're enjoying our features today. I tell you, we had a great time at the SHOT Show. You'll recognize this young man. Next to me, Leroy Scott, the one, the only. Sir?
Flattery will get you anything, Johnny.
Well, we just want you to keep appearing on the show, Judge, certainly. We did have a good trip. It's a long way out there, isn't it, Judge? Long drive, huh?
It is when you do it all at one time.
All at one time. Well, certainly I would like to encourage anyone who's never seen the Hoover Dam if you go out that part of the country, it is really impressive, isn't it, Judge?
Yeah, but I couldn't get him to stop at the Hoover
We
Dam.
were busy. We were busy. We were trying to get home. Anyway, we have a number of things we're going to be talking about. That was quite a story that Art had to say, wasn't it? The things that happened to him when the government people attacked his home and his business.
Yes, it was.
Well, friends, the reason we talk about these things is our defense here is for more of us to know about them. In fact, we've covered a number of things on this program that are not politically correct, but we've always been very careful about what we've covered. Well, one of our viewers has sent us some information that we have heard about from several different sources. This is really a disturbing thing. Judge, there's some sort of apparently prison camp or something down in southern Mississippi, something. What is it?
Well, let me tell you about it. There was a group that was hiking in the DeSoto National Forest when they came on a huge prison facility that was deep within the forest, about 20 miles northeast of Airmark Resources. I don't know what Airmark Resources is.
We're talking the national forest there in South Mississippi.
The facility was held thousands of Russian tanks and decontamination vehicles, and was located on Highway 49 North in Saucier, Mississippi. The truck facility is actually in the DeSoto Forest, and is about 25 miles south of Camp Shelby. Now, I don't know where Camp Shelby is, but it's in South Mississippi. He says the prison was well hidden and located at the end of a dirt road behind signs reading Wildlife Management Area. Dirt road's the only way in. They drove 10 miles down the dirt road, and on the road they had keep out signs, and they had some barricades. But they hiked the last 3 miles and came across a tank bridge. Now, here is the location of it, and I'm going to describe it to you because I'm hoping some of our viewers in Mississippi will have an opportunity to be close enough to the area where they can find this place. From Gulfport, you go north on Highway 49. You will pass on Highway 49 an intersection of another road, and there, he says, is where all the Soviet trucks are.
Now, you know, we ran some tape, it's been several years ago, a couple of years ago, on the program that had a bunch of Eastern European nuclear, biological, chemical warfare type vehicles. We'd heard about a bunch of them being brought in down there, painted white, as in United Nations, and that was very disturbing. Not long after that, I mean, they disappeared from that location. We actually ran tape of that on our show, and we've heard about all sorts of strange things being stockpiled here in our own country apparently for the United Nations. And go ahead, Judge. What?
All right. You can continue north on Highway 49, and you'll cross Highway 26. Mm-hmm. That intersection. Just continue. That's
Wiggins.
He says that's Wiggins. I don't know what Wiggins means, but that's apparently a town. And then further north to Highway 29. At Highway 29, you take a right, and it would be somewhere probably in the neighborhood, by this scale, about 10 to 15 miles, when there was a road that was going south, and that appears to be about 13 miles south where that camp is. Mm-hmm. If I had my airplane still, or if I had my certification on for flying, I'd fly over it and see what it was like.
We understand it's a no-fly zone.
Well, that's possible. Anyhow, that's on the road over to New Augusta. That's Highway 29. And partway down that road, and 13 miles south, that's what he says, 13 miles south, is where the installation is.
Strange goings on, huh? Razor wire, tremendous, it's unoccupied, tremendous numbers of Soviet-type vehicles in there, NBC-type nuclear, biological, chemical vehicles. As I understand, this thing's about a mile long and about a quarter of a mile wide. I mean, what in the world? Why would they be building a prison camp in the middle of nowhere for the United Nations? I mean, why would that be going on?
He says it's a mile long and a quarter mile wide. He says it has a dozen machine gun turrets and guard towers. It has many sensors in the ground in the form of buried cables and numerous video cameras atop poles. Has white vehicles, trucks and cars inside the facility, and appears to be totally unoccupied.
For now. So we don't understand what this is about. And here's the bad news. We've had reports from a number of different places in the country that these facilities are scattered about. Now, I've heard some of this type facility explained away as one of these boot camps for these young men, but my goodness, Judge, if you're just training young men for problems on the street, do you have machine gun towers? And I mean, what's the deal?
He also says there are no maps available of the area, that no maps are available from the Agriculture Department for the DeSoto Forest, and they were told that they were out of print.
Strange goings on, friends. This is something that we would like to know more. We'd like to know what this is about. It's very disturbing. We've heard rumors for years that of some movement by some of those folks in the government that would literally have a concentration camp. Maybe of people that they felt like would not go along, or people that gun owners. I mean, we don't know. We flatly don't know. We'd like to find out. So we're not spreading alarm here, but we are spreading concern, because why would our federal government have these massive prison facilities with nobody in them? I mean, we don't understand this at all. So it is a worrisome thing, because we've heard talk for several years now that there might be a massive sweep at some point of gun owners or people that, who knows, maybe militia units, I don't know what, of the forced imprisonment of these groups. We don't know. We flatly don't know, but we darn sure will keep you informed. That's another reason we need to stay on the air, so we can talk about what these things are. Yes, sir. Something else, sir.
Well, there's a couple of important Senate votes that are coming up pretty soon. One of them is on Senate Bill 30, which is Senator Hatch's juvenile justice bill.
Yes.
And there are some very dangerous aspects to that. Some of the senators have gotten off of that bill, said they no longer wish to be co-sponsors of it. And if the information that I have is correct, I can well understand why they wouldn't want to be associated with the bill. I'm surprised at Senator Hatch. He's usually been pro-gun and very okay.
Well, he definitely. This is not pro. This is anti-gun. This bill is outrageous.
Well, now remember, the fact that power has not been abused is no excuse for it existing.
Yes.
Because if it's subject to abuse, somebody will abuse it.
Doggone right. Anything else, sir, that we need to be aware of?
No, I'm going to be talking to you about anti-gun incumbents as time goes on here, because we will have incumbents that are so totally against us. They're going to vote in favor of any anti-gun bill, that we need to know who they are. And incidentally, I want to take a boost for Helen Chenoweth again, because she has introduced some bills that are very favorable to gun owners, and has tried to get the old Bricker amendment to the Constitution adopted again.
ensures sovereignty.
It ensures that it ensures American sovereignty.
Right. Which actually now, due to certain treaties, is actually in jeopardy. This is unbelievable that we're saying this, but it's true. Our own national sovereignty to this ridiculous organization called the United Nations, our own sovereignty is under attack. If you don't believe it, go look on the national parks, look at Yellowstone, look at Smoky Mountain National Park, some of these other things that say a United Nations biosphere preserve. That is outrageous. Now, friends, we're running a little short on time today, but there's several important things we need to tell you about, certainly including our support group. One of which is we have discovered a gun magazine on the internet. They're called Gun Web. We will be working with them. We'll have their entire interview on next week's shooting show. Some very nice people. This is an exciting development. You can go to their website, www.gunweb.com, on the internet. A tremendous magazine right there on the internet. Now then, some things we've got to tell you in our support group. We have Larry and Karen Meister with Back 40 Sporting Clays there in Bourbon, Indiana. If you'd like information on their hours of operation and pricing, give them a call, area 219-342-4665. And our friends in Alabama with Flying Horse Enterprises, you can visit their website or give them a call for information on their art presentations. You can call them 1-888-340-0664. If you're looking for discount prices on Spyderco or on cold steel knives, give Advantage Outlet a call, 1-800-561-1719. You can call our friends Dennis and Jeannie Ritchie for custom leather work and saddlery, all kinds of leather repairs, all kinds of work done like that. Area 504-667-9225. If you're in South Carolina and you need some firearms instruction, you can call our friend Dennis Crocker. He is at area 864-587-8722. And if you're around East Leroy, Michigan, or you want some super work done on handguns, on revolvers and 1911s, you can call our friend Bruce Warren. He has BC Armory. His telephone number is area 616-729-5508. And friends, you know, if you need custom work done, some of the finest done anywhere in the world is Clark Custom Guns. Remember our Fun Gun Weekend, May 16 and 17. Make your plans now. You can call Clark's, area 318-949-9884. And friends, if you want the absolute Rolls Royce of penetrating lubricant, you can get fluid film from us here on the program. 2 large cans, 11 3/4 ounce cans, for only $19.95. Send to the Shooting Show, 327 Irvin Roland Road in Dubberly, Louisiana. The zip code is 71024. Tell you what, we're having reorders because nobody can believe how good this stuff is. If you want to protect your guns or anything else, leather, just about anything imaginable, order our fluid film. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. And if you need custom doors, you can call our friends at Urban Wood Products at area 740-926-1575. We'll continue our SHOT Show coverage on future programs. Friends, thanks for being with us. Remember our radio show on the American Freedom Network on Sundays from noon till 2 p.m. on GE1, Channel 7, 5.8 audio. Also our gospel show on Sunday mornings, 10 to 10:30 Eastern Time on G4, Channel 14. We look forward to seeing you on the next program.